Hello, guys, and welcome to what is now the last game of the DPC. There's no more potential tiebreakers. There's no more potential anything. It's going to be the last best of three to determine who goes to the major. And this best of three, as per usual, it is almost tradition at this point, has to include BeastCoast. That is in the contract. But the second team, who's it going to be this time? It is Infamous. BeastCoast, their Achilles heel historically in this DPC. They were unable to beat them in the regular DPC. Regional finals aside, until this very DPC, where they were able to 2-0 destroy, shellac Infamous away from their chance of beating them. Again, the 6-1 they so needed. But of course, BeastCoast, in usual BeastCoast fashion, dropped a game, or dropped a series rather, against a worse team than them, and now they're in this position. So, you know, this is tradition. BeastCoast with 5-2 and Infamous with 5-2. They are playing for this second major slot, the first team being Thunder Awaken. They're also playing for a little bit more DPC points, but it's really the major that everyone's going for. BeastCoast, if they manage to get the second DPC slot, they're pretty much in, whereas Infamous, if they get the second major slot, so they're pretty much in TI, that should be implied. With Infamous, if they get the slot, they depend on a deep run if they really want to make it through the point system. For my panel today, I have the two best Brazilian panels we can find, because this is, of course, a very Brazilian matchup. It's Astini and Rayur. Hello, guys. Rayur, I see you smiling. Nice to see you here.
Nice, really nice to see here. Excited for the match. Really hyped actually, because last time BeastCoast just gave 2-0 instead on Infamous, so really hyped today.
Yeah. Astini, do you think the same results are going to repeat themselves, or do you think Infamous coming in prepared?
I think it really relies on draft. I think both teams can win. I'm expecting a 2-1 finally, because it's always 2-0 on the series that they play, right? And also something that you brought up is very interesting, like how stacked the region was. Even though I flamed a few teams on the bracket, like Infamous, they dropped to Infinity. Like, so they might go to the major, and they drop to a team that's relegating. So not only did BeastCoast drop to Wolf, Infamous, they also dropped this map because they beaten Thunder. So it was very exciting DPC, so we are ending it on an amazing fashion.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you yourself have been praising Infinity this whole season, talking about how good a team they are and on a good day, right? And how prepared they are for TI.
Yeah, amazing draft, especially game one. The game one you play with your mind. That's what Papita says, right?
Yeah, you play with your mind, yeah. Well, you're right, though. Infamous did drop to Infinity, but as you said, they beat Thunder Awaken, which is incredibly impressive from Infamous, as Thunder Awaken looked incredible this season. What do you think, Astini, as the expert at destroying BeastCoast, Infamous could be drafting today to surprise BeastCoast?
They were the first team to draft this Alchemist. It was actually the first map of the DPC, and I wasn't really understanding the hero, and I was really surprised by what the hero can do. And I really think this hero has raised a lot of his value on the competitive scene. So I believe they bring this Alchemist. It's very likely they can get a map with this hero, and they will realize and ban it.
Okay. Rayur, I'm going to give you a slightly harder question here, because BeastCoast, they also need to come up with a plan against Infamous. So what are the weaknesses that BeastCoast can exploit from Infamous playstyle?
One of the major things I think they should be really focused right now, it's what they did on the last series against Infamous. They just banned TA. I think by focusing Parker heroes, the hero pool, they can stand a chance. I think Parker, it's a beast with these heroes, these really farming heroes, especially TA, and on the series that they won against Infamous, they focus on some Parker heroes. We see that they ban PL. Oh, never mind. They ban TA, they ban Kunkka. We've seen Parker playing TB on the last games, but I'm not sure if they are going to focus. But I think by just looking to Parker, they might stand a chance, you know?
Okay, all right. Canceling Parker, Astini, would you do that too, or do you have another plan in mind against Infamous?
I think if you just play the meta, you should win against Infamous, because it's very outdated this way they play, that they focus everything on Parker. So I will do the opposite. I'll do, okay, please, play for Parker. You're doing it wrong. And we just play normal Dota, like you split the net worth in 5 heroes. You have a position 5 with impact. You have a position 4 that can initiate burst targets, and something that Schofield does really well. So I feel like BeastCoast, they started to understand the meta. They seem to be on a good path. So if they just play like default Dota, and they let this Infamous playstyle where everything's on Parker, I don't think Parker can do it alone.
interesting that you mentioned that. You mentioned alone. Because in the few interviews we had,
10 seconds remaining.
Alone specifically told us that he was asking for Tricor every single game. So he's aware of what the meta is supposed to be. He wants 3 semicores. And Axel told me in the last interview that he's actually trying to experiment with semicores. So maybe this is the game where they actually swap around their playstyle. Maybe they just came to the meta prepared for the last game of the season.
Hopefully, it's gonna be very interesting if they do so.
10 seconds remaining.
BeastCoast is still aiming for the same bans when they play against Infamous. Templar and Doom.
Okay, first pick Viper. There's the massive flex where it goes literally any position except for carry. 5 Viper. Of course, that is an Axel special as well because he likes playing cores as supports. We already have an explanation on that as well. So,
10
could be.
seconds remaining.
Strong
Yeah.
first pick.
I'm seeing a lot of value on this hero, especially if you are flexing him from 3 to 5, because you want to have strong position 1 in lane. So you want this type of Monkey King, CK, Bristol back hero, and all of them, they have passives which are countered by Viper. So, and it's annoying against almost all heroes in lane.
Yeah, and fixes the lane problem too by just flexing the zero. Wolf team just played yesterday and they just picked Viper in the 2 games on the first pick, and Duster just managed to play the hero in the first series and the second one Tavo. By just doing that, it fixes so much problems on the draft and make sure you don't lose the lane. One thing that I think it's really cool by seeing Viper is that it's a really South America hero, no?
Yep.
Everyone values too much Zero here. It's fun to see. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's the constant fighting hero, right, that people really appreciate. But Infamous, they go for the Timber Saw. So, Astini, I'm going to go back to you because the Tricor, it could be a possibility. Oscar is probably the least sacrificial on the Timber Saw of all his heroes, and the most he scales on any hero.
Yeah, it seems like they can have this 3-core. Timber, he fills some blanks that Viper leaves, like Viper is terrible against units, and Timbersaw is amazing against units.
Yep.
But on the other hand, they have already 2 picks, where it's very likely a Timber off, so you're not flexing anymore, and you have 0 stuns. So they should really aim on having stuns on other heroes, otherwise this draft can be a disaster.
Okay. On the other side, Ryur, the Snapfire plus Tuskar. Snapfire awfully was something that Whisper was innovating with, I think, last season most or anything. And then you combine this with Tuskar as well, who has been getting a lot more priority. What are your feelings of Tusk in general? Do you think the hero is a little bit underrated?
I enjoy seeing this hero often. I really like when they put this hero on the position 3. But I think the way BeastCoast plays the game, the meta, the way they define how is the right way to play Dota, it relies too much on these heroes that has high mobility, you know? We see Gojira or Stinger just creating chaos on the map with these kind of heroes that has high mobility and stuff like that. And I think on the Aghanim's right now on the Tusk, it's really broken, you know? He just kicks in the fight and just throw someone so back of the team, so it's hard to fight. And if they planning to put Zero on the lane phase by just getting him on position 3 or Snapfire 3, it's really strong.
Yeah, are you a fan of the Tusk mid that we've seen from some players?
How? I did not understand you.
Are you a fan of the Tusk mid that we've seen from some players? That Gunner is a big fan of that, to rush that Ags as soon as possible?
I mean, Chris Luck is that kind of player that goes for the weird stuff happening, and I like that. But I seen Thompson playing this hero on his stream a couple days ago. Was pretty strong. Actually, he was not getting tag team, and he was just out farming everyone and farming too much. But I don't know. I feel like this hero in the mid lane itself, when you commit 1 or 2 big mistakes in the game is almost unplayable because you don't deal that damage to burst anyone down, and it's kind of strange. It's a hero that you really need to play forward every time, you know?
For now, BeastCoast are going to run the Bat Rider, which is an interesting choice. This is one of the teams that still flexes as the offlane, Astini. But what's the point of the Bat Rider here?
Man, I was really with a theory in my mind that I was expecting Bat Rider. I'm not kidding.
Okay,
because
I believe you.
What
You've
they
never
do,
lied to me before.
They pick Tusk when they want to 3 lane, and then they can put the Bat Rider on Timber lane. That was the only hero that they could do that, besides Bloodseeker with Span. So they can play like a 3-lane against Viper, and thus amazing hero for 3-lane. And you can have the Bat Rider following the Timber Soul lane. Like,
Wow.
the bands look like it can be mid, but I don't think it's a mid Bat Rider unless, like, on the last pick they can realize a good lane. But I really think they're planning that, like, from the Tusk already.
Okay. Mega prediction from Astini. Actually, I'm checking my Discord messages, and you sent me this exact thing 2 days ago. So definitely a prediction from Astini. What do you think of that idea, Rayur? Does that put a wrench in Infamous' plans?
Yeah, I think Cassini may be right. I'm not a big fan of these early picks on the Bat Rider. I think the Zero needs to be last pick or 18 pick. But what Cassini just brought to us right now makes really sense, and I kind of agree with him. And on these games, when we are playing Timbersaw and you see a Bat Rider, you almost go sad every time. You just see a Bat Rider on the opposite team, and you're like, okay, this is sad because your game is almost destroyed. You know, you need to rush Lotus Orb most of the time because you can't play the game right, and every Timber chain that you kind of miss puts you on the harder position. So Bat Rider is a really chaotic hero to Timber.
Interesting. They're going for an old school combo, man. Pango and Mikado. I feel like this is like 3-4 patches ago now. Pango mid most likely, it seems like, with Mikado 4.
10 seconds remaining.
What is this idea about?
They need stuns.
5 seconds remaining.
They really need stuns.
Yeah, man.
It's weird.
It is weird.
I can't find an explanation, honestly, because it doesn't make sense for me. Because I think, like, Koto should be mid. Like, you don't want to Koto 4 with Timber.
And Koto mid, it's mega bad against Bat Rider. Like, most of the times Bat Rider can solo you on the lane. If you get 3 or 4 Napalm stacks, you're almost done, you know? You die every single time. It's a worst matchup possible for Koto.
You also, if you have Koto mid, man, you have, what, Pango 4? That's terrible. I think that's worse even.
Both options seem weird. Like, but I think they need catch for the Koto. Something like a last pick Queen of Pain, some sort of hero.
Okay, so you're thinking that what they need last Destiny is a mid laner here for BeastCoast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really want to see this Bat Rider played on that way, but now that Infamous has this weird draft, they might be able just to play it mid.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I think a Bat Rider just going mid lane right now, it's the best option for BeastCoast. Like, it's good against Koto on the lane. If they put Timber mid by somehow, some way, I don't know what's happening on the Infamous right now. It's good against Timber though.
What about Koto?
Bat Rider, it's
Sorry,
a
what
mid
about
lane,
Pango?
100%. Yeah.
Beats Pango, beats Koto, beats Timber, okay.
10 seconds remaining.
But Infamous, they're still protecting the Pango. Quap is the biggest lane counter against Pango.
Team ban.
Yeah, so they have the same theory as me if they ban Quap.
Turn to ban.
Yeah. Under just in case, because they're not entirely sure. Maybe they're just protecting the Pango a little bit more. It's hard to say. What are the carries, by the way, here that we're missing? Astini, what thoughts for Infamous particularly? What do you think Parker should be playing this game?
Units. Free PL game, free Naga game. I always bring up Naga, no one wants to play the hero.
Yeah, sure.
5 seconds
TB
remaining.
okay-ish, but I'd say like PL, Naga. Seriously, it's amazing Naga game. I would definitely pick Naga here.
It is a good Naga game, and it brings you stuns, right? Or catch of some kind.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have
Very
like a
few carries do
BKB
that.
piercing sometime in the game.
Yeah, exactly,
So-
exactly. No, it does seem like a
Yeah,
good Naga game.
they need something that has stun. Oh, Walk was a great ban.
Yeah. Something with stun. There's not many carries of stun, and you know it's like CK. Naga.
Maybe they're going for some classic Parker stuff. PL, maybe Templar. I don't know.
He's
Templar
bad.
seems really weird.
5
Man,
seconds
on the
remaining.
first phase. Sorry.
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
Parker bait. Yeah. If it hasn't been picked, it's bad. It's bad. They go for the
Morphling?
Morphling. That's an old Parker classic, and it is also a classic for South America. That no stun draft. It's
这波不亏，666。
Bat Rider just going mid. I think it's the best option right now.
okay. And then what do you pick as an
No.
offlaner?
5
Or do you just put Snap as offlane?
think it's decent if they put Tusk 4. They can kill Morphle on the lane most of the times. It's too much damage. But I don't know if that's the play style they want. I mean, Whisper do a lot of heroes on the off lane. I think it's possible, but I don't know. Maybe Mars. Mars is good though.
I'm thinking Earth Spirit mid.
All right.
Because there's no catch, and like you just get this backline into silence then, and
it's time to see if
know,
Ascene is a real Oracle. If they
I
pick
like-
Street, I'm done.
I like BeastCoast draft already more, even without seeing the last pick.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Even if they just play with 4 heroes. Oh, I was really excited for that Earth Spirit. It's going to be a Grim 5, which means snap off lane, like we talked about. Well, or maybe not, actually. It could be Tusk mid as well.
A lot of things can be happening right now. They can put a lot of heroes on the mid lane.
Or it's a green stroke mid for that silence.
Oh, there you go, Astini. Yeah, you say it now just in case, right? If you're right, you're God. And if you're wrong,
No,
it's
I
nobody's
don't
gonna follow you.
think. No, it was a joke. It was a joke. If he does that, I'm not right because it was a joke.
Look at this man. Humility above everything. Guys, BeastCoast, they don't see your picks. You can just choose. This okay. We need to know. BeastCoast, who's playing what, guys? Okay, it is normal. Well, somewhat normal.
That's
Snap
not-
Fire mid,
Nice,
better
snap
off.
mid. I love this hero in the mid lane. I love this hero. Does so much damage, creates so much impact on the game.
Yep. And you're right, Astini, then. The option is about Batrider versus Timbersaw. Could definitely be there. I will point out, though, Snap mid absolutely wrecks this Morphling and Timbersaw with the amount of magical damage you just pointed out, right? It can kill him 100-0 super early. What does Infamous do? Are they ready for this draft?
I don't know. They need to be careful. They need to slow down the pace of the game, you know, because they have Morphling especially. I don't think they can just try to pick every fight against BeastCoast because they are going to lose most of the times. I think the way BeastCoast wants to play this game is really aggressive, really forward. Infamous needs to try to slow down and just straight farm and go for BKBs, the mid-game stuff, and etc.
So, would you be going for BeastCoast for this game, Rayur?
Yeah, 100%.
Astini?
Definitely BeastCoast. I saw that coming because I already lost to it. So I really think Timber's gonna have a tough time, and like I don't see this no stun draft working. It's just way easier for BeastCoast to execute their draft. Like Infamous, they need to bring some next level Dota to win this match.
Okay. Well, the no stun draft seems scary, and certainly it has been scary in the past, but usually it's BeastCoast who drafts the no stun draft. So maybe Infamous has decided to take away one of their best strategies, or sorry, worst ones, what I meant to say, and use it against them. This is the strategy that brought BeastCoast to a 114 job at the Animajor. Can Infamous do the same thing, or will they show them exactly how it's supposed to be played? We're going to have to find out with DkTruman and Kips for Game 1 between BeastCoast and Infamous.
Yeah, Kips, a very interesting draft that we get to cover here. The snap mid, what do you think about that choice?
I'm trying to get level with you here. The snap mid, I mean, I love it. This is one of the few teams that does it, and they do it so well. And I'm kind of hoping for just a really fast dataless and damage. But we're going to have to see if Sisma actually decides for that. I do want to see it though.
Yeah, I'm not completely convinced against, you know, the Infamous draft, mainly because I have been baffled by Morphling performances this entire patch. The amount of power that hero can bring out in the later portions of the game is remarkable, but of course, you know, can he get to that stage? And that's where really the problems lie, because they also have like a ridiculous amount of push on the side of BeastCoast. With the heroes, Roche is very easy to take as well, and the early team fight is exceptional. But if Infamous, like, if you have Oscar getting a good lane, I definitely can see them taking this to late, and then the Morphling is just superb.
Yeah, it is. He might just stand on his own though, and like in general, do you really want to play a farm war versus Hector? Do you? He's already got first blood.
Yeah, but it is Parker, you know? It's still...
It is
yes,
Parker.
You're up against Hector, but it is Parker. If anyone can do it, it's him. He is an exceptional performer in his own right. Getting slightly bullied in the bottom lane as we speak. And yeah, this was kind of as expected by the panel, of course. Try v try shenanigans in the bottom lane.
Yep, Morphling not very happy with that, but they're going to leave him in front as much as possible, soak up that EXP, hopefully get to level 2 as fast as humanly possible, even in this tri-lane scenario. Hopefully without dying here.
They do have a pretty bad tri-lane on him, like a really bad tri-lane on Infamous compared to BeastCoast.
Yes, they do. I mean, Tusk, Luna, Grimsirk tri-lane, this is incredibly hard.
Yeah, Coddle, Morphling, and a Viper plus 5. It's not the greatest, I would say. Affliction, though, is bullying Stinger away for the time being. Mid lane is... I have no idea how that matchup is going to go. It is your most important hero, I would say, on Infamous. The only one that has a quote-unquote reliable stun.
Yep, this Pangolier can really make or game the break for them. He is indeed the one with the disables, the one that brings the team fight, and the one that's going to supply a lot of the mid-game damage as well, depending on how the Timbersaw's lane goes. And he is solo up top versus a Batrider, so he's going to get the levels at the very least. But this is a risky lane for the Timber, because eventually he can get whittled down and die once level 6 comes around.
Yeah, but then again, you know, it's also the way he has kill potential once he gets his level 6. It probably will favor the Bat, but there's definitely a threat from the Timbersaw himself at the later portions. He's always going to have mana, magic wand stacks. Pretty perfect.
You'll just have to buy that Lotus Orb later.
Yeah, it is a very good Lotus Orb game. Like a superb one for the Infamous side. And they do have a hero that likes to carry it. Other tools that are useful this game, I guess Spirit Vessel for BeastCoast.
Yeah.
Tusk maybe? I don't really know who else.
I think the Tusk builds a Vessel. And I was kind of banking on the support Snapfire to bring in a Force Staff, because that's also going to do a lot of work for such a low stun lineup.
Oh, Parker with the waveform, a bit too aggressive there, dropping low. Does have the attribute shift, but okay, he'll stay alive. And Gojira is actually going to be in trouble himself. Illuminate Blast on top. Does not die to the dots. One auto attack off of death.
Excellent. And this is the only way they can win this lane, by making BeastCoast blow their entire arsenal on Parker and then coming in with Affliction spam on the poison attack with the Cottle Blast over the top.
Yeah, but they decided Affliction is easier to kill. However, they do find a kill in return, and that one goes to Parker. Not too bad.
Moon's blessings.
And yeah, top lane is not really going to be much action going on, I would assume. Mid can definitely be kill threat if rotation comes in. Speaking of which, Stinger. Okay.
Yeah, Alone was like, let's try all of my mana. No? Okay. Fair.
Yeah, probably realizing, you know, I don't have a stun yet. Which is kind of gonna be like, at this stage, Morphling is the only one that can interrupt a TP.
I just want people to build Yule Scepters at this point. As Oscar, yeah, there he goes. The stack's built up.
Whisper does manage to get the kill top, and he's also level 6, while Oscar's level 4, almost level 5, but that top lane is kind of already at a stage where it's over.
Whisper is an absolute monster, man. And yeah, only one level in the reactive armor there, not enough to keep the Timbersaw alive.
So, luckily enough, Alone is doing a good job. Parker's actually having a lot better lane than K1, surprisingly enough, in terms of last hits at the very least. Though, of course, K1 does have a nice kill earlier on to his name as well. But the fact that Parker has this many more last hits is very surprising, especially with how the lane looked to be going in favor of BeastCoast.
Yeah, this is Tusk Grim. Nobody's dying.
And Gajira,
You know?
he's actually the one dropping low, almost dying. They're chasing for more. The Tusk in the trees will be spotted, will be blocked. They want to give the kill to Parker, and that is some good supporting.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, gives that kill over to Parker, and he is getting away with murder right now, literally. This lane's not supposed to go this well for him.
Luckily enough, Alone did die in mid to the Snapfire Globs of Death. So the other two lanes are being currently won by BeastCoast. Although it is
Yeah, that's a danger zone, right?
the safe lane
Because-
that you're losing.
Yeah, but that's the one that you're going to call on last. And the ones that are going to be making the space are your mid lane and your off lane, your +2 and 3. So if you have to choose on who to make recover, it should always be your safe laner, because that they're going to be farming anyway. I'd say this is an ideal scenario.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
K1 is getting heavily bullied, but luckily enough, everything does reach underneath the tower. Top lane, Oscar's just pulling the creep wave back so he can get his level 6 quickly, but Gajira's actually heading top. Oh, just to place a ward and maybe see if he can find an avenue to make a play.
Yeah, they're definitely ready for a lasso use on that top lane, I think.
Oh, Stinger.
Now he...
Decent damage, but Sea Smiles are very scary. Ah, Hasted Rune, Snapfire charging in. Affliction actually doesn't get Cookie Stun, so that is... luckily enough, thanks to the Haste Rune, it's not a complete wasted TP, but that is really not what you wanted.
Kinda awkward. He just sat there for a while like a frog on a leaf. Like, am I gonna... Oh, he's gone now.
I wasn't really sure what he wanted to do there either. He TP'd in and he was like, do I want to go? Because I guess Grimstroke didn't really want to do anything. He was just falling back underneath tower. His Inkswell was on cooldown, making it a lot rougher.
I think Stinger is very happy that he gets some EXP under tower here. Hector being away.
I take what I please.
But yeah, that could have been a rotation to break the game open, and instead it was not that, and now it is
Oh,
Infamous who are going to try that instead.
Inkswell stun. K1 does need to be careful himself, and there's Alone, and that is a very dead Luna.
Oh yeah. Has
He
a
tried
doorbell.
to TP. Oh, he doesn't have a TP. He can't try to TP. Why doesn't he have a TP?
I don't know, that seems to be kind of life-saving in this particular game especially.
Yeah, the enemy has two ways to interrupt it. Adapt to Strike, which Morphling hasn't leveled, or Rolling Thunder. And you don't have a TP. Cool.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Lessons for later. Gajira has been hanging around here all this time for this opportunity.
Oscar, Timber Chain back. Ice Shards block. No!
Not so fast.
Unfortunately, gets taken down in the end. And Oscar, he's having a pretty rough game so far. To be fair, he is the same net with his K1, so it's not too bad, but that just more shows you how much K1 has been struggling this game.
Yeah, fair. I mean, the net worth that I find most concerning is Alone,
Radiant's
who,
top tower is under
on that
attack.
rotation there, sure, he got a kill onto Hector in the end, but that's not enough to recover here. This Snapfire is really running away with the game so far.
Yeah, Sea Smile also has bots right now, so we'll be able to use that "oh no, I'm in trouble" TP away shenanigan a lot of the time, and I assume it will happen a lot as well. Is there any, like, Yules is being built up? Nope. He's just gonna be able to
No.
get the TP out mainly every single time.
Exactly, because we're looking at a core Pango here, right? So, and mid lane to be specific, Yules is the poverty build. We don't do that here on our mid lanes. We rush Diffusal, which is what Alone is doing.
Well, they smoked
And
underneath
I
Ward
guess-
Vision. So, Whisper?
Oops.
Does he get
Oh,
caught?
they're gonna catch up.
No, Whisper juking his way through that big rock. Oscar does slow him down. Alone gets on top, but a cookie to force Whisper out of trouble. He has a lasso available. He's going to go for Alone, and Alone is in trouble right now. Does have a shield crash, does get it off in time, but there's the massive rotates coming in, and they will be absolutely destroyed in the end. 3-for-1 trade, and they were completely ready to rotate through. That was fairly deep and very well done as well for the Bat. Whisper lurking about that rock.
Yeah, buys the maximum amount of time there. I don't think you can play that one any better than he did right there. That moment that he hovers over the stone is perfect. Like he knows he's toast. He just needs to buy time for his enemies to follow in his grave.
And that's exactly what he did manage to do. Looking very solid for BeastCoast at the moment. Parker bottom lane. He's going to go for the TP out. Lasso, he knows it's on cooldown, so there's nothing that Whisper can do. And Parker will just look to continue farming in the mid lane in the meantime.
I'm surprised we haven't really seen any big shoves on his mid lane yet. The second catapult wave just died. So probably going to be calm for a little while longer as the supports get their level 6s. Stingers is now online. As well as... Oh, the Viper's still level 4, man. That's a sad existence.
That is literally every position 5 Viper I've seen in this entire patch. Every single one of them is poor and had a terrible lane.
Poor, slow, and ugly.
Yeah. And even more useless in the later portions of the game than literally every other position 5. I'd rather have an ogre.
Yeah, same actually. I mean, I understand the laning power of this thing, but...
It never does really work the way that, you know,
No.
it's supposed to. Like, you play against the Tusk, he jumps on you, and you're standing there. If I get my 5 stacks on him, he could possibly be dead. You don't get your 5 stacks on him, because you're dead.
Maybe he falls over, maybe don't. Preemptive roll
Okay,
alone.
one.
They're good. Hector is so low.
Oh, dropping low. They're going in. Nice save
Ooh.
with the snowball. However, he does get sent a little bit aggressively. K1 tries to turn it onto Oscar. So low, he's trying to run away. Gets out of dodge. And Alone's going to die next as well. This is just painful. They're going to get 3 kills and K1 doesn't die? Also, why did Alone stop chasing him?
He got lassoed over on the side?
No, I mean around the tower. Like he didn't go to the right to like chase after K1.
Yeah.
He just went in a straight line, like completely abandoned the fight.
Looking for a bounce, maybe? It's hard for me to tell, actually. I think that at that point you already know that we didn't get him immediately. This might be toast. This is somebody else's problem now.
Was not really the best position to, because he rolled like deeper into enemy territory and just died. Yeah, they're looking a little bit lost here on Infamous. Luckily enough, Parker is still, you know, 0 deaths done with the Lincolns. He is getting pretty strong. The problem is, you mentioned it previously, it's looking like a Parker against the world kind of game.
Like, give BeastCoast good lanes on their 2 cores, and Hector is going to be top of the net worth anyway, no matter what you did to him in his lanes. And BeastCoast are so good against on the 4 protect one. They are so good, and right now they don't even have to protect the one all that much.
Yeah, that one is just loving life. I still am a little bit scared of the Morph, but they are pretty heavily ahead in terms of net worth this game. Let's see, any interesting items being built up? I don't see a Spirit Vessel for the BeastCoast side, so they're not really actively trying to counter out the Morphling yet. I guess once the Luna gets the Scotty, you could possibly get like maybe a Whisper Shivas along the lines.
No, instead we're looking at the Tusk probably getting a Blink Dagger. He didn't have it queued up yet, but he nearly has the money actually. And the 4 staff that's going to be so powerful versus all these shorter range AoEs is getting built up on the Grimstroke. And 2 BKBs in the works on the main course, so both Whisper as well as Chrysaluck are going to be ready to brawl. And I don't think Infamous has anything once there's 2 BKBs on the board. Like, who's gonna hit anybody? Morphling is going to have to come fight. It's going to have to be Parker. I don't think he's ready.
Yeah, BKBs are definitely very dangerous here for the Infamous side. You've got Viper Strike that pierces BKB, and that's it. Like, Pangolier, maybe if he gets like the Shard, the Basher, he could be slightly more annoying, but for the most part, you are kind of in a very tough situation going forward. Whereas if they buy BKBs on Infamous, and they do have Soulbind, they do have Lasso, they do have Walrus Punch, they have plenty of tools to deal with a BKB.
Some ways to wait it out as well. Snowball especially.
Yeah, they've got saves, they've got damage, they've got a lot of tools. Strongest core in this game is still the Morphling, but that's only very important once you hit, 25-30 minutes.
Yep, and right now he's just on an island. He's a look at it, BeastCoast aren't coming for him yet, but that won't take long.
Yeah, they're probably going to be eyeing out Roche soon enough as well. On the side of BeastCoast, they did smoke top to see if they can find any targets here, but nothing to be gained for BeastCoast just yet.
Now, Infamous are just holding hands right now around their Morphling. He's their lord and savior now. There's nothing else to be done here.
Okay, drum shoes, wanting to possibly go in. Oscar keeps the slow thrown out to keep Whisper at bay. No blink dagger just yet. Alone, he wants to. He really, really wants to. But Whisper's got a BKB, and they should know that.
Yeah, he just showed it off. But you know what? Their Viper has level 6 and brown boots.
That is that's just value right there.
He just flew it in.
That is... Position 5 Vipers are always just sad. Sad hero.
This goes beyond sad. This is a tragedy of Greek proportions. This guy.
Okay,
right,
well, he gets
tragedy.
rooted by the creeps! Does Papa's Eclipse get soaked by the creeps for the most part? Do they have the damage to take him down? No, Swashbuckle comes in, and no, the heals come out. And the snowball save even if needed. No, it's going to be Affliction dying on the side. Soulbind thrown out onto Oscar. They're trying to disengage. Oscar, can he timber chaw his way to freedom going for the TP? Nope, the punch comes right on time. Wants to go back onto K1, see if he can burst him down just in the nick of time.
Hector.
Another timber chain, so close. But again, Hector is literally surviving every fight with no HP.
Call this man Harry Potter, because he is the boy that lived. I don't understand how he's getting away with that. Again, I mean, I understand Luna's fast, right? And a lot of these heroes' movement abilities are very instant, so he can dodge them out with his nimble little feet, but it still feels illegal.
Yeah, he's playing with half HP the entire time on the map. Like, just permanently half HP, doesn't get punished. It's remarkable and ridiculous.
I think he's flexing on him.
Yeah, this is just BMing with class.
Yeah. You don't tip, you never say a word, you just show up with half HP and you walk out with 5% HP.
And a kill.
Yeah, and a kill.
And now ahead of Parker in terms of net worth. Parker's getting close towards the Scotty, but K1 is very close to finishing up his BKB. And, well, we talked about how hard it's going to be to kill him. The cores on the die side with BKBs, he's also one of them.
And I frankly think that that is the moment where they're going to step on the gas. I don't see any reason for them to stop it off. They're going to be able to fight in the Roche pit, even versus the Pangolier, if they have those 3 BKBs. And after Roche follows high ground.
Especially Bat Rider. BKB! Lasso. The Pango in the middle of a roll. Take him for a spin. Oscar is getting close to the load storm though, which will be a pretty big addition for a team fight, because, well, you know who you're going to load storm every single time. That's just going to be Parker.
Between the Lotus and the Lincolns, he should be pretty untouchable at least. But I mean, this is also a Morphling. I have luckily not seen him run around on like full agi too much, but you could also still have a Morphling oopsie.
Oh yeah, I know, that definitely, like, it's one of the hardest heroes to play just because of that aspect, where if you don't pay attention for half a second, a random blink walrus punch, you're dead. Blink lasso, or, well, he doesn't have a blink yet, actually he might have it being delivered right now.
Grimstroke silence from the trees.
A Grimstroke silence from the fog, same story. Affliction going for the TP, at the very least, will not force out a lasso. You know, he was trying to bait out the lasso in that situation, because if Lasso's on cooldown, they might consider going for Roche. Oh, Stinger dropping low. Soulbind comes out, does hold Parker in place. But they're looking for more. Stinger is already dead. Whisper's being chased down. Pops the BKB. They don't have a way to control him at the moment. Alone, even pump faking the ulti for good measure. But they do manage to find Stinger again.
Yeah, and interesting. You could see Whisper consider the double lasso there and then realize that he doesn't actually have enough damage back up to pull that one off. He just killed the rest of the people that were with him, so abstains for now. They're going to look for a better fight later. It is a shame that that was his first BKB charge, though.
Yeah, and still 60-second cooldown, which is kinda hard to do. Does have the Boots of Bearing, though, which is... I really like the Boots of Bearing. Oh,
Bongo
they're
boots.
gonna get a big catch onto Alone. He's gonna roll his way to attempted escape. Whisper does not have the BKB, so he can't really go for the lasso play either. But they kind of need to dip on the side of Infamous, because no Rolling Thunder means your entire team fight's just gone.
Yes. That was it.
Yeah, that one spell, if you don't have it, dip, run, go.
Well, they too have successfully disengaged, and I do want to point out here that this is one of the things that sets both of these two teams apart, at the very least in their region, but among a lot of teams in general. Like, both of them are actually very good at disengaging where it's necessary. A lot of teams, once they're committed, they will just, you know, okay, this is a fight, I guess.
Snapfire dropping very low, does get himself away thanks to the BKB usage. Alone's gonna get taken for a spin by Whisper, but Alone back on the high ground. That is Lasso going to be on cooldown. Blinks to the side and Alone. Can he get himself away? Another swashbuckle comes in. Might need to try and get back towards his teammates, but he's taking so much damage from that flame break. Burning to a crisp. Jump up the high ground. Will eventually die. And they won't be able to get any return kill coming through. Affliction. You know, the Viper's like, kill me! Don't kill my teammates, please! And Oscar will still be caught regardless. K1 coming in with that AoE stun, looking for Michel as well.
Dropping like flies!
Yeah, they're just getting absolutely torn apart by the BeastCoast squadron.
Yeah, and they can have their pick of whatever they want right now. Like, if Roshan pings and Echo's like, this is a free tier 1 here. We just mop that up first, right? Fine. Take it.
But Kips, Parker has not died yet.
He has not, but I'm starting to wonder if this is a Nico Baby kind of situation, where you're farming the entire game for a carry who's, yeah, he hasn't gotten killed, but how much is he going to be able to contribute? Like, of course, like, he could pull off the most amazing Morphling right now. He does have the tools for it, but the chance is getting slimmer and slimmer as BeastCoast have more and more items and more levels online. They are getting tankier. They are getting defensive items.
I do miss the old classic E-Blade morph. It was entertaining.
It was. And it had a lot more combat potential.
Yeah, it gave some nice diversity. Alone going in, has a Rolling Thunder available. He's going to quickly go into his little roll-up. Now needs to disengage. Soulbind has been used, though. So it's at least a pretty big cooldown from the BeastCoast side gone. And a TP out from just like that. There is an avenue where you could get a decent catch here.
Yeah, they were waiting for a lasso CD, but I think the Radiant backed off just in time. They're really picking the fights is not up to Infamous here.
Vegeta's literally taunting them.
Yeah.
Actually just shutter stepping with the creeps right in front of his enemies. Like, yeah, sure, go for me. Go for me. I can just snowball away. Don't worry.
What's the worst that could happen?
Got it.
Try your luck.
And look at the way they shift here. Vegeta might stick around here to take one more wave on mid. He might also not. He is in position to do exactly that. Oh, he'd like to cut it more forward instead.
He needs
Gets
creeps.
caught. Vision. I love this trick.
Yeah, he gets himself out of there. Affliction's gonna die. Because there's a Deso now on the Snapfire and a lot of damage coming in a very brief amount of time. And this is where the Lesh starts, you know, actually looking like a core.
Yep. Work it up on C-Small. Yeah, and now Hector's going to Siege, and they can really the most important thing they can do here is just blow up the waves and make sure that Hector doesn't make it up the high ground. If he gets to stand there, your buildings are done for. Luckily, they do have an extreme amount of wave spam between the Pangolier, Bottle, of course, and then we bring in Oscar on this Timbersaw as well. Creep wave won't live unless you buy a pipe. Nobody buys pipe except Oscar, actually.
Parker, topside, Whispers nearby. They're looking to pounce on him. The collapse coming in from multiple sides. Parker trying to disengage. Load Sorb. Then last is going to be on Oscar because the Load Sorb is a little bit more annoying, and Oscar is going to get blown to smithereens. Whisper gets another kill. You know, Affliction's always lurking about somewhere. That's just going to be easy pickings onto the Viper.
They were trying a fast move onto Parker, but he is wise to their tricks.
Unfortunately, can't do anything against those tricks either. Except for sacrifice his teammates instead.
He is like water. He's constantly slipping through BeastCoast's fingers, but does that matter in the end? I'm still waiting for the moment where he, like, I'm clenched for that. I'm tense. I'm like, there is a chance here that he gets one pick off, another pick off. They lay into him. They realize they don't have enough damage. He's too big. Oh no, the Morphling is too big. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Go in for
But it's
the
not
fight.
yet here.
Rolling Thunder,
Is
nice
it?
catch, but the BKB usage is a little bit problematic. Looking for more. Parker trying to get the right clicks in. Seasmell taking some heavy damage, but he does still have the Aegis, so he doesn't really mind losing his first life. No BKB available for the second, though. And are they going to be able to get more catches going forward? They're going to go for Seasmile. Stinger taken down, and Seasmile, yes, the Snapfire will be no more. Quick double kill secured for Infamous. The rest of the team dipped out on the BeastCoast side. And there is definitely a bit of a threat coming in once the Morphling pops the BKB.
That was a first reveal of that potential power, and they don't have the physical damage to take him down right now. You need the Tusk on top of him, probably. And then the Luna as well, but she doesn't have any physical damages yet. Yeah. Moving up, taking the Aegis. And by the way, you can see on the minimap here that Hector is already dipped out, and he is taking the mid tower with his illusions right now. Just getting the most out of that. He's going to farm the Radiant jungle right now. This fight's already over. He does not care.
Yeah, no, the moment they started that fight, Hector already dipped. Nope, guys, this is not worth it. This is how you throw games.
Yeah. You'll be damned if you ever play this game.
Which is something that, you know, a lot of teams do struggle with when they are ahead. Old Liquid used to have that problem. Every single time they went high ground, they lost.
Oh, we are ahead. We're supposed to be winning this. We will punch you more. Like, no, no.
Gotta take those fights perfectly. Best is if you can kite the Pangolier's Rolling Thunder, because again, that's the only team fight they have. Oh, Affliction, no! Well, yeah.
I'm done mourning for the Viper. He is a creep.
He's been a creep since the laning stage.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of Viper, just as in general. I just don't like the hero.
He is a tool. Ugly one, but sometimes that's what you need. Yeah, you can see BeastCoast you're sort of struggling with. They want to pick off.
Who can they catch though?
You need a pick off.
Probably Affliction, but he needs to first respawn for that. Parker, waveforming in.
Gets down?
He does have a tendency to, you know, try and poke and prod a little bit on the side of BeastCoast, see if he can make them make a massive mistake. Oh, Parker.
What's coming?
You see how much respect they're giving this Infamous lineup right now on BeastCoast. They know one mistake, Parker can go nuts.
Again, no physical damage on the Luna just yet.
Oh, Alone used Rolling Thunder and they dipped
committed.
out. They should
Yeah,
be
they're
able to
gonna look
catch
for the fight
Stinger.
now.
Stinger is dead, and Alone kind of needs to dip out as well. Whisper does get interrupted on his blink, but Alone, the Pangolier, Walrus Punch comes up, holds him in place for a little bit longer. Whisper is slowed down, which is a pretty nice buff here. Parker's going for K1, but the lasso onto Alone. The Pangolier is going to be held at bay, and the Pangolier is dead. Parker needs to dip out quickly because he's losing his heroes on his team very quickly. Michael in the trees. No, he will not be able to disengage. Illuminate will stop it. Sorry, the Lucent Beam, and the Morphling does get himself back, but yeah.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower.
No
It's
banger roll.
beautiful though.
Nothing they can do.
No, like as soon as that's committed, you can see BeastCoast retreat to that high ground almost eagerly. Like, alright, wait it out, wait it out. He's gonna pass us, and then we're gonna go.
Yeah, it's
Stick.
it's not easy. It's definitely very, very rough for Infamous. The only one with farm is Barker. Like, if Alone had... Well, he has a BKB now. But if he also, you know, Basher, Aghanim Scepter, he rolls in that fight can go any direction. But he's just lacking the items. And Oscar is... Well, the poor Timber size just also... he load sorbs his Morphling. That's about everything he can do.
Radiant's top tower.
And to be fair, that has caused a lot of the slowdown in this game, that even when the Linken's is down, the Lotus can come out at any second and destroy a possibility of an initiation. And we're still in a position where they can't fight this Morphling straight up with the threat of the Pangolier behind him, right? So they need the lasso to hit, or they need the Pango ult to come out first. See, smile.
They won't be able to catch up to the
Invincibility.
Snapfire. But Roche is up, and that is the second Roche. Free shard to be secured. I would like a nice shard on the Dire side. Snapfire or probably Snapfire.
Yeah, I'd say that would be the snap, probably. Because the two best shards on that team have already been gotten. K1 has the extra attacks on his Lucent Beam, as well as the ground targeting. And of course, Stinger is rocking the Inkswell damage. And strong Dispel at the end, which is massive, massive, massive.
Parker's still not died. The guy just refuses to die on the Morphling. That is actually, you know, an impressive feat, considering Morphlings tend to make those mistakes that we've previously mentioned of accidentally swapping too much to agility while you have a dot on you and the like.
Yep. But I mean, I do think that if he dies now, the game is over.
Structures are fortified.
Oh yeah, the moment he dies, you probably just call GG. Does go for... Well, he almost has the buyback money. They are going to go in for the high ground push, but yeah, K1 has the Aegis. And also Affliction. He also has Affliction. Rolling Thunder from Alone on the backline. He's trying to deal with them and keep them occupied for as much as he possibly can. K1, can he get taken down? They do lose a couple of players. C-Small is actually dead. And Parker is here to go for round number 2. Against K1, can he get the kill going? But Parker, he's actually going to turn into the Tusk and dodge the entire ulti from K1. Snowballs back in with the waveform up the high ground. And he gets away.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Yeah. I mean, what good are 0 deaths if your Ancient is down? You're gonna need to commit at some point.
Well, they did at least get the kill onto Snappy.
It's something.
It's not a lot. And yeah, Aegis also
It's
got
not a
popped,
lot.
so there you do see that there's a possibility, but they really need BeastCoast to just make a mistake. And BeastCoast, they're currently playing very cool, calm, collected Dota and not overcommitting whatsoever.
They are so patient. It's like everyone just really, I don't know, stuck their heads in the freezer for a couple of minutes. Chill. I think what they need is the Basher on Alone. I think with some lucky bashes, and with the BKB durations getting low on the side of BeastCoast, Alone might be able to do things. But it's so risky, because every time you spend your ult, you need to get things done, or you know that BeastCoast is just going to come crashing over you like a wave.
It's just a severe lack of funds on the two other cores. Supports as well, like you've got a 4-staff on Coddle, that's it at this stage in the game. You know, it's a hero that tends to steal all the farm on the map in the earlier portions and turn into a kind of a offlaner as well, added on top. But he's got nothing. He has less farm than the Viper. How the hell does he have less farm than Affliction?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It is kind of wild. I mean, not anymore, but it's close. Parker just bought a refresh orb. He bought out for that.
Double BKB,
He dies, he dies.
Is the play? He's being kept at bay though by Gojira in the meantime towards mid, and they are just getting bottom set of racks while the Morphling's completely locked in place. Rolling Thunder used by Alone while his teammates are soul bound together. This is zero communication going on.
It is, but maybe they didn't notice. I don't think BeastCoast actually noticed that the Rolling Thunder was spent. So for all they know, it's still there, and they could still get caught off guard by it.
Well, that is, I guess, a saving grace, but they are losing way too much. Parker, he does realize what is most important, though, in the fight. Double BKB, double Lincoln Spheres as well. Very crucial to have this game.
Nintendo, he has already become acquainted with Tusk's new Walrus kick. I think that's just what they're going to do with Parker. They're just going to like, oh, you're the only threat? Fine, we remove you.
Yeah. That is, I really love that kick.
It's so good.
It's such a dumb spell.
Exactly, I don't mean it in a way that it's good.
No, it's just good because it's a very nice little meme technique. Though
They're coming.
Alone going in onto the Tusk. Do they get the kill? They do. And there's going to be the BKB pop. Parker's going for the right click fight against K1, but there's 2 damage dealing cores on the other side, taking a lot of damage here. Parker with the waveform. Waveform does get the refresher orb used. Another BKB run. K1 doesn't have a second BKB. K1's actually dropping low. K1 is dead. Double kill secured by Michel in the meantime, but Parker needs to disengage because he doesn't have a BKB left and will fall back. They spent everything to get the kill onto K1. They do manage to take him down, but then again, it cost them everything. And they still have the lasso on Whisper. Smacks down Alone. That is a dieback as well.
That's huge. That's a dieback, yes.
Okay. Wave from back. Wave from fourth. 2 quick kills added in for Infamous, and now the 2 main cores are dead on BeastCoast.
And now you have to wonder, I don't think they know that the Morph doesn't have buyback. Like, he could be close, that's the problem. You don't know that. You don't know that he literally bought out for that refresher. So they're not buying Hector back, they're not doing it. And Infamous lives to fight another day.
Michel got like 3 kills that fight on the Coddle. Like, all the kills they got went to the Coddle. That's slightly a little bit problematic for them. He is going for Lincolns though, and I guess he's just going to keep on throwing his Lincolns onto the Morphling every single fight. I would really love for him to just like get an Ags on the Coddle with all that money and just throw extra team fight, because they're lacking team fight. If you throw in some extra little juice there while the Rolling Thunder is on, you might have enough to be able to lock the enemies down once the BKBs are over.
I don't know if you want to do that versus a level 25 Snapfire though. Like, I think your Ignis is just going to get shredded.
True, does mean that he at least has to make it his prime focus to get rid of it. So, it could bounce to creeps in that situation, which is very advantageous for your team regardless.
It's true. I kind of want to see the Hex.
It's still a little bit off, but yeah, I mean, the Hex is always a very nice addition. Affliction is very dead again. Though they're going to go for more Soulbind onto the backline. Parker pops the BKB. Nice kick back. Oscar double lasso. Taken for a spin. Oscar and Affliction
Parker
will be taken down. Luckily enough, he missed Parker with that kick. Otherwise, that would have been a lot worse.
That would have been a double kick back into... Well, it would have been a double lasso, because one of the benefits was that the Soulbind latched to a new target, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird mechanic. That, some spells make you break it, some don't. Parker needs to get himself back. Does have a BKB, well, he has the refresher orb for another BKB charge. Rolling Thunder in, Alone, he's going to go for Stinger. The Grimstroke's going to be his main focal target. Stinger trying to disengage.
Just letting him roll.
Yep.
Yeah, you do you. Luna took your Rex. Actually, I'm saying Luna when C-Smile got all the last hits.
Yeah, you got some big bad bullies on the side of BeastCoast right now, and Parker can't handle it alone. I mean, Alone is just nowhere on that farm net worth. Like,
He is not, and like if BeastCoast want to take this real easy, real smooth, like they just wait for that last Roshan, get themselves hopefully a free axe, maybe for that Luna, get the orbital cannon online. That's one of those fantastic upgrades to punch through an enemy defense with.
It's a weird one that
Some
you
of
just
the
add
times,
it
right?
on the Luna and all of a sudden
Radiant's current
you do have like a ton of magic damage. I missed the support Luna though. It was one of my favorites where I had the 300 cast range stand at level 10.
I know, that was stupid. Loved it.
Yeah, I saw a lot of
But you-
Chinese teams run it.
It's like, oh, you need to be 4-staff? Well, allow me.
And then
I don't
eventually
need to be
get
on your
like the
screen.
Ags plus Refresher. Somehow they manage to farm that and then they just solo the entire enemy team. That's how they roll. Ooh, Stinger. He's got the free Ags. Are they going to give it to him? I wouldn't mind it actually. Yeah, he's going to get that Dark
Yep.
Portrait of the Morphling and just kill the enemy with their own main hero.
Yeah. They're all over the BeastCoast is so fast. Like that was, we could barely follow that with the camera there. But C-Smile was fighting Parker. In the meantime, Whisper gets a pick off on the bottom lane. That call is dead forever, and Hector is already at the mid racks.
They are looking for a bit of a fight. Rolling Thunder comes in, stun onto K1, but Alone's just melted. C-Smile just buries him completely. In comes the right clicks from K1. Kick him all over the place, and Parker can't even respond. Does have a buyback to try and get back into the fray. Does even buy the tome in the meantime to get level 27. But Affliction's gonna get buried inside the fountain. Away from him, from Parker, back and forth. They're diving the fountain. That is really aggressive, but of course K1's just finishing off the game while they're all being distracted and nothing you can do. GG gets called. And that is gonna be BeastCoast taking game 1. And it was very convincing, even though there was always that, you know, little bit of a hesitation. Can he pull it off on Parker?
Yeah, but unfortunately he could not, and I think that would have been my prediction before this game, and I think I heard Astini say it as well, that if you try to do this with like a hard carry versus hard carry, if it's going to be Parker versus K1, then I don't think you're going to make it. Not because necessarily like K1 is that much bigger than Parker, right? But because the 4 players that you have next to K1, like that 4 protect 1 style, BeastCoast is just better than you at that. And what Infamous should be playing is an active style, semi-cores, not a no-stun hard carry draft here. And I really think they just shot themselves in the foot with that hard.
Yeah, it eventually looked like, you know, 1 position 1 and 4 position 4s, because no one else was really able to do anything on their side. Your entire team fight was based off of Rolling Thunder. Well, we saw exactly, you know, BeastCoast knew exactly that was the plan. He rolled in 9 out of 10 fights. They were already gone before the roll even got anywhere remotely close to them. And yeah, they just, you know, this was cool, calm, collected, trying to make it to the major kind of Dota.
Yeah, and I think they definitely wrote in their application here. I'd like to see Infamous turn this application down, because that was solid as a rock.
Yep, you know, that was definitely an interesting showing, but to break it down a little bit more, we'll bring it back to the panel.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the panel. Yeah, it seemed like, much like the panel said, BeastCoast just shellacked Infamous. There was a small chance there, maybe towards the end, a couple of good team fights. Parker looked pretty good, but overall, no matter how good Parker is, there's nothing that beats a good draft, and that's what BeastCoast had this game. Really, really dominating performance. And Astini, you were right. They did the tri-lane thing that kind of set the tempo for the whole game, as Oscar didn't really feel like he existed this game.
Yeah, they shut down his game, so they had everything in 1 core. And as mentioned, like if you play like this against a team that's playing the meta, you're gonna lose. Like watching the game, I didn't feel for a single second that Infamous Day stood a chance. Because it feels like they're playing different games. Like BeastCoast, they play Dota, Defense of the Ancients, and Infamous, they play DOTP, Defense of the Parker. They want like Parker to finish with 0 deaths. Like, what do you get out of it? Like, it's not how you win the game. At least I don't think so.
No, this is why people have been criticizing the fact that Infamous, they all like Parker, they all are friends. It's like, mate, stop being friends. You know, you gotta start hating your carry to appreciate that he's not the only person in the team. Do you think they can make a strategy change, a tactical change for Game 2? Or is that a little bit too difficult for them at this point in the season?
I feel like they just got really outdrafted this game, you know, by just putting the Timber, the bet right against the Timber Saw and going to Triagora was really smart on the BeastCoast. Maybe Astini is right, you know, they need to, I mean, just ignore Parker for a little bit, focus on another cores and try to give them a decent game, you know. I felt this whole game was just trying to do Parker not to die, like Astini said, and it was kind of strange, you know. Most of the initiates, they just made everyone was running alive. There was one time in the mid lane that Hector just run out of 5 heroes, and on the bottom lane we smoked to kill Hector, and Hector just run. They had no stuns, and Morphling was not on his timing in this gank, so it was kind of strange to see, you know. I think in the next game they need to try to focus more on the lane phase and not get outdrafted.
Okay, strong words here. Both my panelists agree they've been outdrafted. Both panelists agree that BeastCoast just looked better as a team. But will Infamous showcase why they've been able to beat will Infamous showcase why they've been able to beat BeastCoast until now? Or will BeastCoast close the series 2-0 and secure that spot to the major? We're going to have to find out as we take a small break and wait for Game 2 of the series to begin.